Good afternoon, good day, wherever you may be in our global viewing audiences. Special shout out to our friends right here locally in DuBois and our surrounding area. You're watching The Wire Live, local television, brought to you by The Kinetic, our studios in downtown DuBois. This show is all about arts and entertainment, and recently we've been talking a lot about theater, and we've got folks here from the Reitz Theater again talking about theater. Why have we been talking about theater so much recently? Because there's a lot to talk about.
Absolutely.
How about it, ladies?
Absolutely.
Why don't you go ahead and we'll introduce you. Want you to go ahead and address our audience and tell the folks who you are and what we're going to be talking about today, and how we're excited about getting youth involved in the Reitz Theater. So why don't we go ahead and start with our guest here, Andy. Tell us your part in the youth workshops and what you got coming up here.
Well, I'm Andy Kolb, and I direct the children's workshop. I'm the essentially kind of organizer of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And this year we have a really great team of adults working with us. We've already got a great team of student writers that have come on board, as well as a really great theme. I'm really excited to explore this year's theme, which is mythology. We're going to focus strictly on Greek mythology, and the kids are having a great time with it.
That's awesome.
Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about the particulars of the workshop when we start. And actually, we've got another guest here. We should two guests. Gus, he's launching his film career today.
Yes, sir. The youngest member of the Reitz Theater, I'd say.
And Ashley Niger, thank you so much for joining us tonight as well. And you're going to be sticking around, we should say, for the next segment, talking about your show, The Producers.
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your part in the youth workshops, and let's go ahead and get the particulars out there as well as to the dates and the times of these. Go ahead, Ashley.
Sure. Well, I started with the Children's Theater last year, actually. Really excited to be working with Andy again. This year I will be mentoring the oldest group, which is, I believe the ages are...
Having finished 6th grade to having finished 8th grade.
There you go. So working with that age group, it's going to be a lot of fun. Last year I was with the youngest group. Definitely a challenge and everything, but like Andy, I'm really excited to be working with Greek mythology. It's always been a really fun topic, and I think that really offers a lot of material for the kids to get into, and it's very educational for them as well. And I think you can see a lot of really fun theater coming out of that.
Tell us a little bit about the structure of the workshop. What is planned for the days? How is this going to go?
Well, we started a few weeks ago with our children's writing workshop, and any student that's interested in writing, we bring them in, and they do a small little workshop on how to write a play, what elements are supposed to be in a play, and then they spend the rest of their time formulating ideas, brainstorming, and trying to come up with 6 specific plays, and they all end up at a 10 to 15 minute mark. And then we this year we've assigned adults to mentor them. We've actually received most of the plays already that the students have written. And
that's outstanding.
We're in the editing process where we've assigned a mentor to each group to edit them to the final product. So it's a lot of fun. So that started back in May, and now July 10th is when we open. Monday, Wednesday, and Saturdays we take, and the first week is all about acting and movement. So we teach them improvisation, we teach them stage movement, we do a section on stage combat, we do all sorts of
combat.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Gotta have that. The boys especially love that.
Yes. Especially with mythology. I mean, how many great fights happen in these plays,
absolutely.
Right? So
do any particular screenplays that you got for the mini plays, anyone particular jump out at you as outstanding?
I have 2 writers right now that I believe have done a wonderful job.
Yeah.
The rest of them have done well. These 2, I'm a little sad. One of our writers from last year didn't participate in the workshop, and she's also a phenomenal writer. So, yeah, a couple of them have, but just in the not wanting to play favorites, I don't want to say their names.
Sure.
There are 2 that
some outstanding
definitely
talent
stood out that they have done very well.
Well, I know this from our work here at the Kinetic too, and working with you guys at the Reitz Theater, and what I do at Jeff Tech. I mean, this area is just absolutely full of amazingly talented young people.
Absolutely.
And it's so vital that you guys at the theater are doing what you're doing, not just to provide the opportunity to get on the stage, but the educational component. There's a lot. There's a lot to being involved in theater.
Absolutely.
And these soft skills that they're learning, even the writing and the teamwork. And,
absolutely.
Do you see that kind of real world impact in working with the kids as far as their impacting their maturity?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
One thing that I really appreciated from Andy's program was real world experience as far as auditioning. It was one thing that we like to concentrate on is doing a mock audition, and I honestly think that it's absolutely really, really good for that. It's kind of like an interview, a job interview.
Absolutely.
It gets them out there in front of people, and it gets them talking, and it gets them with some skills for public speaking and everything, and so that I think that's a really great part of it. The mock auditions, and you do, because it is a longer program, you really get to see a lot of improvement with some of the kids. It's always fun to see the kids who are naturally talented, but one thing that's really great is seeing the kids that start off in a shell, and then by the end of it, they're coming up to you and they just had a great show, and you ask them, so did you like it? Are you going to do it again next year? And I'm going to do it. Like you see that confidence shine through, and that's really rewarding. Yeah.
We have families that plan their entire summer around this workshop.
No kidding.
Yeah, they plan their vacations, they plan all sorts of things because their kids get so much out of it and they love it so much. And I had a parent come to me last year and talk about how you were talking about real world application, and he has a son that was in our youngest age group, and just how much confidence his son gained even in this last school year.
Absolutely.
Because of everything that he was able to encounter and access the workshop.
Well, we've seen that in our media program at Jeff Tech. I mean, the stunning turnaround in a child's confidence and
self-esteem.
Absolutely, how they project themselves, how they speak. To see themselves on camera for the first few times can be a bit of a traumatic experience.
Terrifying.
It's
terrifying to all of us.
I'm
Exactly.
Like, you're gonna do it because one day you're gonna be sitting there across the desk from an employer, and you need to learn to be able to articulate your thoughts clearly. You need to be a good presenter. You need to understand how body language works. And, so these are skills, and there's nothing that's more powerful than seeing yourself and looking. If you don't like what you're seeing, fix it.
Gotta change it, right?
So this opportunity in a safe space, they can make new friends, reaching out beyond, because let's face it, the Reitz Theater, I mean, these kids are coming from all over the place. I mean, they're not just explicitly from the DuBois School District, right?
We have some coming from as far as Hazen.
Wow, see? Look
Yeah.
at that. So they got a chance to make new friends, right? Build confidence.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So, how do people get in touch with the Reitz Theater? And if they want to learn more about your program, feel free to give some contact information out there.
Absolutely. Well, they can go online to www.reitstheater.com or .org, and they can download our packet. They do have to have the entirety of the packet filled out.
Baby's crying and all.
Baby's crying and all. And that's, you know what, Gus, I'm so glad that you were able to join us today. I really am. They tell us, a future thespian?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah? What do you think? What have you to say about this, Gus?
Well, nothing yet.
He seems very excited, though.
Yeah, absolutely. We've already seen a show at the Reitz. We saw The Odd Couple, so yeah, he's
very well behaved. Hey, well, in the meantime, they can go to reitstheater.org or reitstheater.com. Facebook page, you guys got a URL for your Facebook page?
Well, it's the Paul G. Reitz Theater on Facebook. So if they like us, I'll go ahead and as soon as I get home, I'll upload the packet and make sure that it's there.
Awesome.
And so they should be able to access it right from there as well.
I mean, we give a lot of reasons to parents out there why the kids should get involved here. We gave a lot of reasons for the kids. Is there anything that any other attribute, any other purpose or reason why a student should take the time or a parent should encourage their student to get involved at the Reitz Theater?
Well,
You got an opportunity here to talk right to the folks and give them
we were
advice.
talking yesterday we had our barbecue for our training session.
Which is
We were
fun.
talking about kids that need to find a niche. And a lot of times the kids who tend to be athletic tend to have those giftings. If you don't have those giftings, sometimes you feel a little left out. And sometimes you feel like maybe there's something that you'd like to be part of, that
A group effort,
a group team, something like that. And theater is a really great way to be part of a team that you can use. I mean, this year
because sports isn't right for everybody.
Right,
There's a lot of people that are
absolutely. It's
artistically
great for
inclined.
some, but it's not great for everybody.
For everybody, exactly.
We have one student this year who came in and she's like, I don't want to be on stage. I would love to be behind the scenes. So she's going to be learning lighting. She's going to be learning all of the tech. She's going to be learning everything behind the scenes. And she's going to be a student tech director.
There's so many. I mean, I think a lot of people think, get involved with theater and they think automatically acting, directing, costuming. But there's so much more to it. The technical aspect, the business of it,
construction, advertising. There is
Marketing,
a place for any student who is interested, even if they're not interested in being on the stage. We have a place for them.
That's what I was looking for. I appreciate you pointing that out.
Yeah, absolutely.
And as far as parents go, I mean, I know for me, the confidence building is the biggest thing.
Is a big thing.
And
you talk about sports, in the physical aspect of that, but I always say, don't be fooled by theater. It can get very, very physical and sometimes dangerous.
We keep your kids safe.
Very safe, of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. Anything else in line of youth-related things happening? I mean, even within the community. I mean, if you guys are aware of anything that's happening within the community that you want to take an opportunity and give a shout out to, please feel free.
If I can, for two things.
Help yourself.
One more thing about the children's workshop.
Yes.
The cost is incredibly easy to do. I mean, it's $40 for a 5-week.
Oh wow!
For a 5-week thing that
can't
includes
beat that.
A free T-shirt.
Yeah.
We were able to keep our costs low because we have a donation from the United Way. We have a sponsor at Globes True Value. We also have a lot of really great people in the community who, if you can't afford that $40. We have people in the community who would love to take care of it for you.
But the kids, you got to speak up.
You've got to let us know.
So if you're in a situation, you need a little help. Don't be shy. Hit Andy up on Facebook and let her know.
Let us know because we want to get your kid involved in this program.
That's great.
Because it is such a great
Well, then we should thank all of our sponsors and all of the
absolutely.
businesses that pull together to support the Reitz Theater, the folks that support what we're doing here at the Kinetic with our broadcast efforts. Ladies, if you want to go ahead and wrap the segment up, if there's anything else that you'd like to share with this?
Well, another opportunity for kids is coming up, and now it won't be coming up for a little while yet, but as soon as the children's workshop is done at the end of August, we will be auditioning for Anne of Green Gables at the Christmas show.
Another really great show for
yes,
kids.
Yes, so lots of opportunities for kids in that show. And that will be performed December 1st through it looks like the 10th. So, so if they want to participate in that, come on out.
Now, Ashley, you're going to stick around for the next segment, and you're going to fill us in with your husband and Mr. Censor about what we have coming up in terms of a little bit
maybe a little
more
risque.
adult-oriented.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
We're
Adult-oriented.
In a few moments, we're going to come back in our next segment, and we are going to talk with James Niger about his involvement with the upcoming play, The Producers, and Joe Censor is going to be joining us as well, talking about his involvement with the immediately upcoming play, Godspell, as well as his part in The Producers. You are watching The Wire. My name is Sam Otero, coming to you live from the studios of the Kinetic in downtown DuBois. Quick shout out again to Vinny Lanzoni and Frankie Lanzoni in the back running our show today. We also have Tom Evans running our production in the back and running technical setup today. Alex Haynes hooking us up with his technical support and artistic inspiration before our show. So thanks to our crew for making this happen. And I have to give a quick shout out to our very vital team members here. First off, DBS Direct. Boys, you want to pull up the title slate there in the back, or in the with the lower third with DBS Direct's website, please. You can see those in there. There we go. Thanks to DBS Direct. Jim Davis here, DBSDirect.com, provider of high-end educational broadcast video systems, such as our TriCaster 8000 Pro Series system that we have here. Jim making this broadcast and all of our wonderful live shows and marketing videos and the things that we do here at the Kinetic possible. Special thanks go out to our friends at DBS Direct for empowering the Kinetic and DuBois TV for these productions. We couldn't do it without you. We thank you so much. We also want to thank our friends at Jeff Tech. Of course, those of you that know me, maybe you don't know me, but you know me from my teaching day, my day job. That's what I do during the day. I teach digital media arts at Jeff Tech and crank out the next generation of digital media producers on a regular basis here. Jeff Tech, of course, myself and Mr. Waka, the IT director over there, founding DuBois TV several years ago, and still powered and managed by Jeff Tech. So we want to give a shout out to that incredible school, the career in technical education, and 13 programs. More information online at jefftech.info. And remember, if you are watching something on DuBois TV, it is possible, and DuBois TV is there because of the support and the work put in by the fine people at Jeff Tech and our students at the Digital Media Arts program at Jeff Tech. So, without further ado, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, James Niger joining us talking about the producers, as well as Joe Sensor joining us on that show and talking about upcoming Godspell. We'll be back right after this.
You're watching DuBois TV.
Are you looking for a unique advertising opportunity for your business? Scared of the high cost of reaching new customers? Frustrated with traditional marketing that doesn't get results? Well, times are changing in DuBois. Marketing your business can be easy, fun, and most importantly, affordable. Your efforts can even benefit your entire community and help it grow and prosper. Thanks to DuBois TV working with us, we've had fresh talent come in and create various forms of TV shows just for you. Shows that are entertaining, technical, and above all, educational. Even more so is that our shows are fun and exciting for people of all ages. So come on, check out DuBoisTV.net with original content filmed and produced here at the Kinetic. Sponsor our TV shows, and you can be seen on YouTube, Facebook, even during live webcasts, and be loved by people from all over. But how can you be a sponsor? Simple. For a small fee, we'll drop your logo into a show to promote us, the talent, and most importantly, you. So what are you waiting for? Sponsor a show today, and you'll become a hero. Join the digital revolution with DuBois TV and the Kinetic. Minds in motion.
This episode of The Wire brought to you in association with Cinematic Fanatic, a company that's driven for provision, willing to collaborate and illustrate. A company that turns frustration into inspiration. Cinematic Fanatic, where film production needs are more systematic and less problematic. Starting rates to meet any financial budget, so call today for a quote.
And we're back! That was quick. You're watching The Wire. Sam and Darryl coming to you back for segment 2 of our show. Today we are discussing arts, of course, a show, The Wire, all about arts and entertainment in Central Pennsylvania, coming to you from the Kinetic, and are in partnership with our friends at the Reitz Theater. Today, well, we learned about youth programs, and now we're going to talk about some slightly more adult-oriented programming. Well, I should say live theater. Joining us on stage, Mr. Joe Sensor. Thank you so much for coming in again, Joe. This is about, I think, your third time into the Kinetic, so we appreciate you joining us for our live shows. James Niger from the producers, and we heard from Ashley Niger in our last segment, and your involvement with the producers we're going to learn. And Tom, I forgot that you were going to be joining us, Mr. Tom Evans from Cinematic Fanatic. He is an associate producer here at the Kinetic, and we couldn't produce these shows without his vast talent, so we want to thank you for everything that you've been doing for making all this happen and for joining us here. I wasn't aware that you were involved with the producers, so we're going to learn about that and why you are wearing that frightening getup in just a moment. So why don't we start with James? Or actually, are we talking Godspell first?
Well, let's start with the producers.
Yeah. Okay. So James Niger, tell us a little bit about the producers, and you have at it.
Sure. My name is James Niger. I am the producer of this show, The Producers. First of all, we'd like to thank our sponsor, Everything Underfoot, for their dedication and money to our effort here. So, as we all kind of talk about our different stories here and everything, I always like to open up with, I became involved with the Reitz in 2002, did a few seasons of shows back in that day, and then I took a job actually that had me working in New York City for about 9 months straight. And of course, as you know, a young 22-year-old in New York City, what you do is you go out and you buy tickets at TKTS last minute for $30 and go see whatever show you can. Well, while I was there, I saw Fiddler on the Roof, 42nd Street, Spam-A-Lot, and a bunch of others, and among those was The Producers. I was blown away. It's 2004, just by how ridiculously amazing this show is, and I always wanted to be involved with it in some shape or form someday. Fast forward to 2017, come back involved with the Reitz Theater, and so I pitched it for the season, and it was accepted by the board. So here we are. I'm now producing it and working with our great team. Of course, Joe Sensor is our musical director. Lisa Rutherford is our acting director. I am producer and technical director, so this is essentially the directing, producing team. Then we have a number of cast members that we've just cast about last week. And we have, of course, my lovely wife, Ashley Simpson Niger, here, who is Ula.
Yes.
And we also have Tom Evans, who has the part of Franz Liebkin.
The Nazi?
Sure. So, to give...
we ought to explain that, I think.
Well, you know.
To give a basis of the story. So,
I was watching this show in the Kinetic, and there's a guy up there giving a Heil Hitler sign.
Sure.
What's wrong with Hitler?
I don't know. I thought this was a family show.
So to understand the basis of this show. So, the primary protagonist, we'll call him Max Bialystock, is a very crooked, shady, sleazy hack of a producer, essentially. He has been, just really putting together really horrible shows and having them backed by the little old ladies that he shtups on the side to basically get funding and backing for his shows. After the closing of Funny Boy, the musical version of Hamlet, Max actually hires a public accountant to come, Leo Bloom, who he brings in there to actually fix the numbers to make a few $1,000s kind of disappear. And so Leo ultimately proposes a bit of accounting academic theory that under the right circumstances, a producer could actually make more money with a flop than they could with a success. And of course, this to Max Bialystock sounds like a perfect scheme to do just those things. So he says, here's the 5 steps that we're going to do. First, we're going to find the worst play ever written. We're going to hire the worst director in town. We're going to raise $2 million. There's a lot of little old ladies out there. We're going to hire the worst actors in New York, and before you can say step number 5, we close on Broadway, take our $2 million, and go to Rio. Thus ensues the seeking of people, obviously the worst play in town, written and penned by Franz Liebkin, former Nazi Party member. I'll let Tom go into more detail there. Along the way, they meet, of course, the sexy secretary and showgirl, Ula. And run into also many other characters. Roger Debris, a flamboyantly gay director, who is then basically taken on to produced and directed the show Springtime for Hitler. So,
Oh, and I should say,
The game
we
is
have an
over.
entertaining. What was that?
The gay musical romp through Nazi Germany. That's
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
this is Mel Brooks.
This is a little bit risque.
Oh, a little bit, yeah. A little bit doesn't even really cover it.
I applaud that. You know, I mean, we need to push the envelope around here. Let's face it. And I think it's great that you guys are, pushing those boundaries a little bit. You know, there's nothing wrong, I don't think, with a good adult laugh.
People love Mel Brooks.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
Yeah,
I've
absolutely.
always been a fan of everything from Spaceballs to Blazing Saddles to
Absolutely.
Frankenstein, so who can go wrong with
With the
something like this?
producers,
Some history. I mean, this is a well-known production that's been around for a long time. 1968, it was originally a film with Zero Mostel as Max Bialystock and Gene Wilder actually as Leo Bloom. It was adapted to a musical form, in a true musical form, in 2001. Opened up on Broadway. After the opening night, it held the highest record for the most ticket sales in one night and I believe it still holds that record. They sold $3 million in tickets on the opening day of this show. So it holds a record for that. In the 2001 Tonys, they won 12 out of 15 nominations, holding the record for the most Tonys for any production. Wow. And then, of course, it was adapted to a film in 2005 with the original stars Matthew Broderick as Leo Bloom, Nathan Lane as Max Bialystock, of course, Uma Thurman playing Eula, Will Ferrell playing the part of Franz, John Lovitz, a handful of other. So if you ever have a chance to watch the 2005, this is really going to be very much a take. But it ran from 2001 through 2007, still holds records all over the place. So this has been around for a long time and is a
Fantastic
very
show.
highly awarded and recognized play.
Both movies were terrific too.
Oh my gosh,
they're both
yeah.
just enjoyable through and through. And you just gotta watch both of them because Gene Wilder, man, when he freaks out in the one scene with his
That
blankets,
beginning scene, yeah.
Sure.
he just goes nuts. Like,
And the music is great too. It's going to be just fantastic music. So that in and of itself is going to be fun. So
Eula, would you like to explain who Eula is and what?
yes, my full name is Ulla Inga Hansen Benson Janssen Tallinn Fallen Svaden Svansen.
You just cast. We're beginning to memorize these
Yes,
things.
yeah.
This is
so-
Hold on, Vinny. Did you get that on the title and the lower third graphic? No, you didn't quite get that.
No, it wasn't quite there. Okay, yeah. And as you can probably tell from the name, I'm very Swedish, and so I'm asking around and looking for casting, which is actually casting, and and from there I like Max Bialystock says, there's always room for the producer's girlfriend, or in this case, the producer's wife. So that's my part.
Tell us more about yours. Tell us more about your part, though.
all right, Franz, he is the writer of Springtime for Hitler, and he's actually found on a rooftop, and he seems to be some sort of he hoards pigeons, and he names these pigeons like after different things, one of them including Adolf.
He's a carrier pigeon.
Yeah, he's a carrier pigeon trainer who likes to send secret messages out. Who knows where? But maybe Argentina.
We have a little clip. Frankie, why don't you go up, pull up source 4 there in the TriCaster, and pull up that Facebook clip that we have there that James sent me. It's a little. Hey, James, why don't you go ahead and set this up? It's just a little clip, but while he's putting this up,
So
we want to make sure that we got the volume up the whole way too. Frankie, go ahead.
Sure.
And we'll tell you to cue this here in a second. Frankie, go ahead. James, set this little clip up for us here.
So this was from our clip from our auditions, actually, when we had a number of people, including Tom, on stage, singing the opening anthem for Springtime for Hitler. So you get an idea of what the music
Pull
is
up that
about.
split.
And then they held me down and shaved my face.
Okay, you got that, Frankie? Pull that up. Full screen.
Springtime for Hitler.
I think that's a.
Tell us the premise of the stories, but tell us about the Springtime for Hitler. What? What?
Basically,
What are we talking about?
As it sounds, it's obviously Franz is like a fan and pretty much a Nazi in disguise, trying to be really American, like hums, trying to fit in, and he just kind of isn't quite there.
This is set in like the 1950s, isn't it?
Right. Yeah.
So there would have.
So he's a relic from Nazi Germany.
There might have been a few escaped Nazis.
I get it.
Yeah.
So now I
very paranoid,
appreciate context because I wasn't aware of the setting.
Short.
Very paranoid that he's gonna get caught.
Right. I was never a member of the Nazi Party.
I didn't even know there was a war.
Tom is now also working on his phony German accent.
I do have to learn a German accent.
Phony.
How are we doing with that? Have you been working on it? How you doing?
I literally just got a phone call the other day. I even had the part. So now it's the study part. I get the notes down and all the vowels that are going to change. So it's going to take a little work, but...
Do we have good, solid Nazi marches, Mr. Censor, as part of this?
It's more like, as we say, a gay musical romp with Ava and Adolf. So rather than actually Nazi marching, it's more like
Nazi shipping.
Showgirls doing high stepping and
I gotcha.
dancing, singing Nazis.
More Nazi.
Can we get? Do we have room to do that?
We have not.
The choreographer will have to handle that.
Hey,
Right. She's in Las Vegas right now.
Of course.
Lisa is, of course, as we all play many roles in community theater, Lisa will be both choreographer and director. We will be looking for people, of course, to also help with things like building set.
We should say time frame.
Sure.
Your show's going to start when, and then for people want to get involved, they need to jump on this now, right?
Sure. As far we just held our first round of auditions last week, and we have cast most of the lead and supporting roles. That we have a few that. Due to some actual tragedy with one of the people we cast, we are now kind of filling in some holes. So these two, of course, have been cast, and the actors have been informed. We're not announcing formally until we have a few things worked out. We will have a second set of auditions on July 23rd and 24th. This is primarily for ensemble people, but we may have some callbacks to fill in some other holes depending upon how it is theater and people, things
of all ages too.
Hey, I should say, hey guys in the back, you want to mix up those graphics a little bit too, right? You got the wire running back there. Pull up the producer logo, Frankie. Mix this up a little bit. Pull up the flyer up there for the producers that has the dates and such on there. You don't need to just stay on the cameras as they're talking, okay, guys? So mix that up a little bit. Add those graphics and split the screens up a little bit. So if you want to pull the flyer up there with any of the dates or anything, if you got it, or their logo. And James, do you want people to contact you directly if they're interested, or they should go through the theater?
Go through the theater, contact the theater, and you will be directed to me through actually probably our director of communications. We'll go into that.
And specific roles or team. Let's say team members that you're looking for, that you really need.
Sure. Again, we're looking for ensemble and people who are interested in maybe filling a few other of our opening roles, or lead roles, I should say. That is the July 23rd and 24th, Sunday and a Monday. We'll have more details about time coming up. We will begin rehearsals in mid-August. Again, that's when we'll be really moving into the theater, and we will begin a lot of set construction, all those other things. Because don't think it's just actors involved. There are people that have to do the technical work, and people that'll be moving set and running lights and running the projection and all of the things that it takes to put a Broadway-style musical
so we need a lot of help.
On a very
really
small
need the help.
stage.
Speaking of help, Frankie, what show are we talking about? We're talking about the producers, right? Why do you got Godspell up there? There we go.
All right, so
What?
our, of course, that is
And there goes the rip.
upcoming.
You start out talking about gay Nazis, and then look how everything just falls apart.
That's theater for you, right?
So yes, second set of auditions for those who want to be on stage or even just be helping out, July 23rd and July 24th. Rehearsals will begin in mid-August. That's when we'll be in there evenings and weekends. Show dates are actually October 13th and 14th at 7:30. We open on Friday the 13th. So what could go wrong?
Surely nobody
Sunday,
will take
October
away.
15th is the matinee, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, October 19th, 20th, and 21st, our second weekend of run. So definitely love to see everybody come out to see the show, and of course, we would love to have you involved in any way you'd like to be.
Closing commentary from our producers cast here. Anybody?
Come on out. It's
Come
going
on
to be a
out,
blast.
be a gay Nazi.
Come help us. We need
It's
help.
going to be a lot of fun.
Outstanding. Now, Joe, you are very heavily involved with the upcoming play launching this week,
Yep,
correct?
right.
Opening day is
Friday the 30th of June.
outstanding. Tell us a little bit about Godspell, and you guys welcome to sit on the set with us and finish out the show this way. That'd be great. So, Joe Sensor,
Yep.
hook us up on Godspell. What do you got going on?
Godspell's really one of the longest running Broadway musicals. It was first was created in the early 70s, and it has been running in some form pretty much constantly, and there's always tons of productions of it. It's a very open-ended kind of show, so you can do whatever you want with it from a director's standpoint. Because it has no real setting or time period, it can be reinvented over the years, and it's typically done with young people. Our cast
Hippies,
is-
right?
Well, because
I mean, we're going from
that
gay
was what the
skipping
kids
Nazis
were.
to
Right.
dirty dancing hippies.
Yeah, and I mean that.
Jesus hippies.
We're
Is
not
that right?
Well, but I mean because
I know.
we're keeping it modern. I mean,
Oh,
the
you're
kids-
modernizing it.
Right. That's and that's sort of been the idea. I mean, the whole hippie thing, and that a lot of that.
Like, are
goes
you
back
bringing
to
it to
the-
2017?
Yeah,
Are
because
you?
I mean, the most of the cast they play themselves.
Oh, cool.
The characters really don't have names because they are themselves.
I see.
And so they're reacting authentically to really it's parables and stories from mostly the Gospel of Matthew.
Uh-huh.
And the only named characters are Jesus and Judas and John the Baptist, and all the rest of the cast. And we have about 17 in the cast, I think 17 students, and they're all from the ages. They're all high school, college age. I think.
Wow, that's a big
between
cast, huh?
14 and 22 years old.
My goodness.
It's a lot of teenagers. Too,
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
And really, that's the way that Godspell is typically done, because it's supposed to be young people responding to the stories,
Right.
And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of energy. Some of the music from Godspell, really, I mean, it charted on the top 40s at the time. Day by Day, I think, went as high as number 13. The whole album for Godspell, and it was a sensation. Some people compare it to Jesus Christ Superstar, but it's a completely different kind of thing, because it is not a specific story.
Wow.
It's not a storyline kind of show. It's what would be referred to as a review show, because the music is all in different styles.
I had a flashback.
Okay.
I had a flashback to sitting at St. Francis Church as a 12-year-old in Catholic Mass singing Day by Day.
Yeah. Well, and it was pretty revolutionary, because
It's not striking me until now how
Yeah.
strange that kind of is.
Well,
Yeah.
and it's taking that very biblical kind of story and sense, and at the time, and it put it into a totally new context. And now you see a lot of that with
Sure.
Praise and worship in churches.
I was
and things
gonna
like that.
say,
That
I
really didn't
should say
exist
it
back
was
then.
folk mass. It
Right.
was folk
No,
mass.
I mean, I went through the same sort of thing. Going to church when I was younger, and it was that battle though between the young people of the time that really wanted to take the story, story from the Bible and put it in their own context.
Sure.
And then you had, the older folks who were very much, they wanted things set in the way that they were used to.
Right.
And so from a cultural revolution standpoint, things like Godspell were huge and controversial at the time, because you had Jesus wearing, and in the original, Jesus wears like a Superman shirt. But I mean, you think about it and these are very highly educated people that came up with this from Carnegie Mellon. Stephen Schwartz, who is well known mostly for Wicked, that was his biggest musical. He did the music for Godspell, and the other guy, John Michael Tabalak, was a theater person from Carnegie Mellon, and they wanted to create something that took the stories of the Bible and put it into a context that would be meaningful for young people at the time, and that's really what it was. But even at that, it doesn't preach at you. Godspell's never preachy. It really, even for people that aren't, real religious, it has a lot to offer. It's more about just being a good person, building relationships in a community, and that's what happens to the cast throughout. Is they start off very, kind of disjointed in their own world.
So it's not a religious message, but it's a
overtly,
moral.
no,
There's
no.
a moral.
Yeah,
to the story,
yeah, it's
sure.
a lot of fun. The music is wide spanning from like soft shoe kind of 1920s jazz.
Yeah, that
all the
thing.
way up to modern stuff.
I tried watching the movie.
Yeah.
I'm
not a fan of the movie.
Yeah,
It's well, and they kind of it was a little thrown together too. Honestly, I think they were trying to be very commercial and capitalizing it on the time, as the music and media industry has always been that
Sure.
way. But we're actually using updated music from around 2002, 2001, 2002. They did a revival of it, and they put it on tour. And as part of that, they redid new music, and it's the same songs. They just changed the style of it a little bit to make it more contemporary. And so some of it,
I want to say almost R&B or
and it's still the same thing. I think what they sort of did is try to put each of the songs in a little bit more of a vernacular style. So, for instance, one of the songs, "Save the People," almost has more of like a Green Day kind of vibe to it.
Nice, cool.
"Bless the Lord," it's almost a Beyonce kind of feel to it. So and that's sort of like we've done this. Mrs. Censor and I have done this show 3 times now. This is actually the 3rd time that we've done Godspell.
Really?
Yeah, and that's actually I was involved with it when I first started teaching up at Elk County Catholic. And so there's actually my 4th time being involved with Godspell.
No kidding.
It's a really neat show because you can do a lot of different things with it.
Yeah.
Our whole concept and the set design and everything is very minimal. You're not going to come in and see a castle or some sort of an intricate set up, but everything on stage that you come in when you see the show is going to get used. That's kind of an interesting thing to think of. Every piece of wood or pot or pan or garbage can or whatever you see on stage is eventually going to be put to use.
Hey, speaking of music, I mean, you're so involved with the theater, Joe. Do you have challenges finding musicians to be involved with your shows, or is this something that I never really hear a lot of complaints or issues with you guys finding good quality actors? But
it takes a lot of work.
Do you have
Don't
trouble finding good musicians to help?
Well, this time around too, and I think because of the time frame, I had to do a lot of reaching out in order to find people, and this is mostly a rock band kind of pit. And I'm playing piano and keyboard, and then we've been bringing in. I had a bass player that's been online for a while, and another keyboard player that's somebody that I know, and we just got actually Alex over there. He's doing our drums now. I just got him on board the other week, and but I've had
Alex Haynes
of the five or so people that we have playing. I probably did about 20. Reached out to 20 or so people just to get them, and a lot of cases it was people out of town or people that are busy. For the producers, we're actually going to do what we did for the last couple shows. That like last year we did Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum in Bay Gardens, the last one that I've done before that. We're actually putting the musicians back behind the stage.
Oh, cool.
Just to open up the front.
Yeah.
And also to control volume, because being a relatively small house in the Reitz Theater, it's tough to balance everything out musically. And so for that particular thing, the producers I think might be a little bit easier because it isn't quite as specific for the things, but we had to have a drummer for Godspell. Had to have a good bass player. Still working on, I know we've got about a week, and I'm still working on figuring some things out for a guitarist. Tom might actually.
I can help you out.
Songs. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, if you want to, we can.
I've been, I want to get so involved with the theater, I really do. But during my school year, I don't have the time. I can't do it and run this place. But during summertime, I can come down and play some power chords.
It's a good opportunity for folks to get involved.
Yeah.
And from my standpoint, it's a bit of a challenge sometimes too, because I know for Forum, we had some very experienced musicians. Well, I only had about like 5 or 6 of us I think that played. But a couple of them were relatively young players that we wanted to be involved. And so, you just have to sit there and try to make sure that they know, what parts they should be playing and maybe where they should lay back a little bit. But still, it's a great way to be involved. They kind of like not being in front of the stage too, because the musicians sometimes would rather not be seen. Yeah. But we had to do a lot with, for Godspell, pretty much everybody in the cast is wearing a mic, which is a little unusual for the Reitz.
Oh, really? You're micing everybody?
Pretty much everybody in the cast, yeah. We have 16 wireless mics running. And,
no kidding.
Yeah, so, and then we're using an electric drum set, and all the instruments are plugged into the sound system, so we have a student that's been there mixing sound for us.
We should do sometime? We do another segment on the Reitz Theater in the future, guys. We ought to have Tom go down there with his cinema cam and do it behind the scenes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it would be way cool. People don't know what goes into this.
It's a lot of work.
It is an enormous
amount of exhausting work that goes into the theater.
And even last night we did some stuff with lighting, and we were in there for about 4 hours, doing lighting, and I rewired some stuff with the sound, and there's a lot. I mean, we're collectively, anybody that directs a show there is very concerned about the outcome. I mean, we take it very personally. Anybody that's directing or involved with the show, and
now the sound,
we want it to be as good as we can do.
Downstairs now, right?
What was that?
The sound's now down on the
lighting
floor,
is the soundboard can be run remote with an iPad, so really you could run the sound from anywhere. But I mean, and there's a lot of we have a pretty high end lighting and sound system in there, really. Compared to it's at least as good as what they have at the local high schools, I would say, if not better, arguably better. And we James, is a lighting professional by day, and he's done a lot, and we have a couple people that do a lot with sound and things like that are super involved. So I mean, Godspell, as much as it's simple in concept, and the set is relatively simple, we have a lot going on there. I mean, we have almost every channel on the lighting board and every channel on the soundboard is in use, but ideally when you go in to watch the show, it'll be as close to professional as we can get in our area.
Awesome.
So
any closing thoughts on Godspell? We'll wrap things up.
No, I mean, I definitely encourage people to come see it. Got a lot,
Give us the dates again.
Lot of talent. It's opening on June 30th.
Okay.
So which is this Friday, and so the first week is going to go Friday, Saturday, and then a Sunday matinee. So Friday and Saturday 7:30. So the 30th and the 1st 7:30, and then the second will be the matinee, and that will be 2 p.m. Sunday matinee, and then the second week will go Thursday, Friday, Saturday, all 7:30 shows.
Awesome.
Yep.
Joe Sensor, thank you so much for filling us in on Godspell. James Niger joining us talking the producers, and Ashley Niger joining us talking the producers as well as youth workshops at the Reitz Theater, and Mr. Thomas Evans here from Cinematic Fanatic and the Kinetic crew, and a thespian as well, and apparently on occasion a skipping gay Nazi.
Sounds right.
$20 is $20.
It's a family show. I mean, here I thought.
Really likes Hitler. really likes Hitler.
You are watching The Wire. My name is Sam Matera, and I'm coming to you from the soundstage at the Kinetic. You can join us online at thekinetic.org. And if you would like to learn more about our youth programs, please feel free to get in touch with me. My phone number down here is 814-553-8794. And, we have a variety of paid and unpaid internship positions that are available. You can learn the digital media arts while serving your community, working with wonderful, inspirational folks such as those that are joining us on the stage here today, and those that are working behind the scenes at the Kinetic and the Reitz Theater to promote the arts and small business development and technical, and I mean, what is happening in this community is just really phenomenal. It's incredible, this bubbling, this effervescence that's happening in the arts community, and so much of it is happening right here downtown. So thanks to everybody for watching, and thank you for joining us. One and all, you're watching The Wire.
Cheers.
We'll be back next time around with more live arts and entertainment from the stage of the Connecticut. See you soon.